Chat UK. This is the right space to explore real-life issues affecting real people. We provide professional counseling to individuals, couples, organization, schools, church, and others. Follow, share, subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Let's Chit Chat UK.
Hi guys, we are live. Hello everyone, we are live. This is Let's Chit Chat. It's going to be awesome. It will be glorious. It will be wonderful. It will be excellent. Tonight on board, we have myself and Pastor Cecile, your host for tonight. We have Pastor Enoch, we have Odile, and we have Jackie. So if you'd like to introduce yourself, Pastor Enoch, introduce yourself.
Should I start?
Hi. My name is Pastor Enoch.
All right, go.
We are here to chit chat.
Brilliant. Jackie?
Right. Yeah, my name's Jackie. I know Cecile from university. We done our degree together and we're now doing an MSc psychology.
Excellent.
Master's degree together.
Brilliant. Great. Odile.
Hi, my name is Odile. I was one of the hosts a while ago, but I had to take a bit of time off, and I'm glad to be back.
Excellent. This is Let's Chit Chat. Awesome, brilliant, marvelous. As you can see tonight, we have the green, the blue, the yellow, the red. So we are talking about cross-cultural marriage. Tonight is excellent. Today is wonderful. So we are debating cross-cultural marriage. How do you think it could be quite exciting to know that you're marrying someone from a different culture, from a different country, from a different background? It looks all exciting. Sometimes is it all that glorious like we like to see or like to think? Oh, we're going to be eating different food, we're going to be speaking different language, we're going to be seeing different people, it's going to be a nice environment. What do you think about cross-cultural marriage? I start with Odile. Odile, you haven't been on the show for a long time. So let me start with you. Give us your idea about cross-cultural marriage. Anyone who is listening to us, please share, follow, and subscribe. Odile, what do you think? This is Let's Chit Chat. Give us a view.
I think marriage is about two people who love one another. And yeah, culture is so important for us to have our culture, but I think is a good thing because you are going to learn about the other person, culture, and where there is love, there is no limit. That's all. I mean, I think is a good thing.
Wow, it's a good thing. The things where there's love, everything is sweet as sand. Let's carry on. Maybe she get to change her mind later on today. Who knows? Jackie, what do you think? Cross-cultural
I was actually married for 7 years to an Algerian who was Muslim. Yeah, we got on really fine. But there was a lot of cultural differences. Obviously, it's me converting. I never converted, and obviously, the marriage dissolved after 7 years. But I have a lovely daughter out of it, and yeah, you know. So yeah. I mean, you're okay now. We can talk. We talk.
Oh, Jackie, reserve that bit. Reserve that bit. I will come back to you about the converting part. Keep that bit for us. I love to know more. Pastor Enoch, what do you think about cross-cultural marriage? What do you think?
Thank you, Mommy. I definitely agree with Sister Odile that love is without limit. But all the same, I would say that marriage is beyond love. Marriage is beyond love. So, in fact, you have to consider a lot of things before you get into that kind of relationship, into that kind of marriage with somebody. Because at the end of the day, where there is no love, what are you going to do? What are you going to depend on? So, I would say that there are difficulties when it comes to such situations.
Hmm. Wow, the difficulty when there's no love, what you're going to think. Okay, let's say you just now. I was before we carry on. I was talking to somebody about 2 weeks ago, and they bluntly told me that was a lady. She told me that from her culture or from her country, which I'm not going to disclose, for them they know that if somebody from their country is marrying somebody from a different country, no matter how much love, no matter how much understanding, they definitely know that at the end of the day, that marriage will not last. Why? I said, why? That is you are. She said, yes, because they definitely know that the person, one way or the other, would like to go back to their land where they came from. The person, one day or the other, they will like to retire among his people. The person, one day, they will like to be so much connected to his country or to her country, especially men. So they say, marrying a man from their country, meaning that it's just going to come to a stage where that marriage will finish. Now, Odile just said, as long as there's love, there's so much. Jackie just said about her experience of marriage and that experience, it was good while it lasted, but then when it got to the end, where she didn't convert, so we will know a bit more about that. Either she just revert or conversion was a bit difficult. In some marriages, I'm going to just throw this question out to all of you. In some culture, there are gender roles. They are really, really strict gender roles. We all know that backgrounds are changing, cultures are changing, people are changing, but to the extent they still gender roles. What do you think about gender role in cross-cultural marriage? What do you think? Jackie, how was your experience about gender role? We know that Western country, men and women have to both work and cook and clean. How did you experience that?
Um, he actually was quite good. He did help around the house, but obviously there was the language barrier. You know, like when his family come over, they would all be talking Arabic, and I'd be like, it's quite a hard language to pick up, and I just think we just really wasn't compatible in the end, as well as me not converting into like Muslim, because obviously he didn't like it because at weekends I'd like a glass of wine and he doesn't drink. One minute he was all this fun person that used to go out clubbing, dancing, drinking, and then as soon as we married, he just got more stricter with his religion as time went on.
Oh wow. Nah, this is I love what Jackie just said. Jackie, by the way, we cannot see you properly. I think your camera has gone down.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, brilliant. That's fine. Excellent. I love what Jackie just said because my question was at the beginning. At the beginning, it all looks so good and so easy and so loving and so caring. But suddenly, when you settle in, then things start popping out. What do you say to what Jackie just said? Odile, you said, as long as there's love. Obviously, Jackie told me that there was love. Everything was
Yeah.
good. Running, bubbly, dancing, singing, drinking from time to time, enjoying life. But then the marriage kicks in, things just change. So, Odile, where is your love gone to?
I think the problem is that in any kind of relationship where people are different, they have different background, there will always be challenges. But now to what are the extent, how do they go, how far those challenges go, and how are we dealing with them? That's the problems. Because for example, where I come from, even though is one country, there are so many challenges to marry from one tribe to the other one. So, but still, you have people are mixing, people are they are staying together, but they will always tell you that there are so many challenges because when you go there, you don't speak your husband language. It's either you have to make that effort to learn the language, and sometimes they have this thing where they will give some tribes certain names, certain stereotype. They will say, oh, this tribe is like that, and if you marry that tribe, uh the marriage will not last, but you still see people together. So I think it's all about how you deal with the challenges of that union.
I love that. How you deal with challenges of the union. Pastor Enoch, what do you think? Jackie said at the beginning, everything was good. Everything was honey,
Mm,
sweetheart, baby, I love you. But then suddenly the reality kicks in. Things change.
mm.
Suddenly, what will make things change? Is it that the person wasn't really fully aware of that, okay, I'm cross-culturing, marrying somebody else from a culture, so I have to adapt, I have to learn, I have to, if I was nice at the beginning, I should not just suddenly change because we are now married. Is it deception? Is it misunderstanding? Is it confusion? Is it the person didn't really take all this into consideration? They only find themselves, then they realize, oh, suddenly, now I'm in, let me go back to my own self. What do you think? Where is the love gone to when you suddenly change and switch like that? Pastor Enoch.
I mean, I would say that though what Sister Odile is saying is true though. Like as far as there is love, you can go far. But this is beyond you and the husband. This is about your children. This is about your grandchildren. Like the kind of humiliation like they are going to face. The family that you have left behind when you are not there. How will the family, your own family, going to receive these children? Because there are people, so far as their culture is saying that you shouldn't marry other tribe aside your tribe. When you do that, they might be even go to the extent of sacking you from the family, like even your father trying to tell you that you are not part of them anymore. So I think this goes beyond love. This goes beyond anything that is between you and the other partner. So you should firstly be able to think about your children, about when you are not there. How are they going to even relate to your husband? Or if the husband is not there, how are they going to receive the wife? Is the wife going to be still part of the family, or the husband going to be still part of the family? Though there are people that are easygoing. At first, you guys will enjoy. At first, it might be like there is no problem in the marriage because it's between you and the husband for now. But as time goes on, when the pressures come inside the marriage, when the family, the other partner family is putting pressure on him or her, what are you going to do? Are you sure that it's going to stand? That's the question that firstly, even if you are going to set relationship, that's the first question, that because whether we like it or not, we have families. So I think for me, it's not going to be easy when you are making said decision of going for other tribe or other culture in case of marriage.
I love what you just said, and I love what Jackie said. I know Odile is dying to say something. She's going to come in the middle. What Jackie said something is very valid that you have just said now, Pastor Enoch. Jackie said, when the extended family is there, then the different language kicks in. And often enough, we have this perception or this understanding, or maybe it might just be a projection that if you are with somebody and you're both speaking English, the minute they see the person from their tribes or from their village and they suddenly switch to their language, in your heart to heart, you're thinking, oh, are they talking about me? What's going on here? Because you are completely left in the dark. But now, when it comes to marriage, it even makes it worse, because if the extended family is there, then suddenly the language is changing. The person is not paying too much of attention to you. They are distracted until the family, extended family goes. That means you are forever going to be outside that, more or less, outside the box, the normal box of that family, which Jackie just said. Jackie, I will, before I go back to Odile or Pasedo, Jackie, I will ask you, how did you feel when they speak in their language, when the language just suddenly changed? How did you feel? You felt ease or?
I did actually get used to it, but it's like Arabic's quite a hard language to pick up anyway. But they'd be talking, I wouldn't know what they're talking about. At one stage, they did used to translate what was being said, and then obviously as time went on, there weren't no translations, so I was just sitting there a bit brain dead, a bit like, what's going on? I don't know what they're talking about. And you do get a bit paranoid, actually. I must admit, you do, because you're thinking, are they talking about me? What are they saying? You know, yeah. So that's my experience anyway. That happened about 13, 14 years ago. So I've been divorced for quite some time now.
I love what Jackie just said. Odila, coming back to you, and that's what Pastor Enoch says, that no matter what, you have to think about the extended family. If you're not there, if the other person is not there, is the relationship still going to go on? Is the family still going to be together? So, Odile, what do you make of what Jackie just said and what Pastor Enoch said? You said, if there's love, everything is good. Now, this is another language, people kicking with their language, and you're just left there in the dark as if you're non-existent. What do you think?
Well, I mean, the problem is that the idea of marriage, the definition is of marriage, can be a little bit challenging itself, because for me, marriage, first of all, is union between the two people. Because I know some culture, your family will choose your wife or your husband, but if we look at it, I mean, the point of view where you go abroad, like we are here, and you meet someone, you don't have that, whether it's a luxury or is something that somebody would choose your husband. So you have a choice that, okay, this is the person I want to be with. This is the person I would love to be with this person forever. Then you're together, you have this happy life. And then now you introduce a family. And the problem is that what I observe is that there are times where we lead our family decide for us. So you'll see people are happy when they're together, but when the family start coming into their lives, then is a different matter altogether. But in terms of Jackie was saying about the language, so I think what I observe is that at the beginning, you have family members who are really willing to explain to you what they're talking about, what is happening. But then my guess is that they will expect you to learn that language because you're part of them now. So it depends on how much effort you're going to put into that to want that you want to know whether you really want to learn the language or not. Then it can be very difficult, because if the language is very hard to learn, then you find that people are tired to be explaining, and then they will just forget that, oh, this person doesn't understand what we are talking about. At least I
Yeah.
need to explain what is happening. So it is difficult because certain culture is more closer to the husband and the wife, where the family do not really have that much input in their relationship, because once the two people have decided that we are married, we love each other, they live their life. But when it comes to certain culture where you have to go back and live with your family and you allow them to take over your marriage, then there is a big problem.
Mm, mm. I love that. By the way, Richard is saying greeting to everyone he's hearing. Greeting Jackie, greeting Odile, greeting Enoch, Richard. We greet you also, and we love you, and we're missing you tonight. Glad to have you on board.
No,
Odile
brilliant.
just
Let's
said,
stop
brilliant.
it.
Odile,
Sorry.
Odile just said something about the parents or the extended family and the language. Parent, extended family, language, translation, culture. Now, religion. Really be wise to marry someone when you definitely know that they hooked into their religion. And obviously, at the beginning, they might say it's okay, but then the time going to come where they will want you to convert. Will religion be a big barrier or big problem or big obstacle if someone is to marry cross-culture marriage? What would you advise them about marrying someone who is hooked into their religion, and if possibly you know that that religion you will not enter? Jackie, what do you think?
I would say don't rush into it. Obviously, get to know each other and then, give it time if that's what you want to do. I mean, obviously, I was at one point thinking that I was going to convert, and then obviously, my job was a hairdresser, so I couldn't, like, I just had to wear normal clothes, and then he was like, I'm okay with it. And then obviously, we just the whole marriage just deteriorated anyway. So I mean, I've just recently found out from my daughter that that was the main problem why our marriage didn't last anyway. Why he didn't want to stay there or work on it because I didn't do that. And we're talking
Oh,
about 13 years ago, and I've just recently found out properly. But I've always thought that it's okay, it's fine now. At the time, I was a bit in shock to think that, you know, someone's been with you 7.5 years and you've got a baby from him. I think she was about 2.5, 3, and then we separated. So it was quite a dramatic time, actually. And I just think, yeah, he's got married back home when he went back home, and that didn't last. So I don't know. I don't know.
wow, wow. Jackie, thank you for that experience. Odile, what do you think? Before Odile give us her feedback about this religion, we just received a message from my son Atta says, nice topic. Love actually has no boundary, being it a language, race, or whatever. But marriage itself is a challenging, no matter the race, all being said. When it's language, how we handle it, there is a problem. That's why there's a problem. And Richard is saying, what God has put together, no black and white couples. They are strong because they care and are committed to each other. I believe education and wisdom plays a great part in such a relationship. Now, Richard, education and wisdom will play a big part in such relationship. But now we are talking about religion. Someone is into their religion and they definitely want their wives to join their religion, or they want their husband to play their religion. So where is education and wisdom will fit into it? Of what do you think? Just like Richard
I
said,
think
education.
it is all the beginning of anything, because if you meet
Let me
someone,
let the cat out. So,
you meet
Dad,
somebody, You know, you guys are different. You have a different belief. And I think you're not going to jump into marrying that person without proper thinking about it proper, because the problem is that if I am a Muslim and you're a Christian, we will have some good time to think about whether we really want to get into this institution of marriage. And if so, would you at some point be willing to change your religion? So I think it's something that people need to talk about when they, because it's different when you're just partners and you're just friends. But when it comes to marriage, because you cannot just, at the middle of something and come to me and say, you know what, I want you to join my religion if we did not talk about it in the past. So if at the beginning we said, I'm going to remain where I am, and you're going to remain where you are, and we are happy with that, there is no way you will come to me unless I decide myself to say, okay, you know what, I want to join your religion. But you can't just come to me and say, oh, I want you to join my religion now. So I think it's something that people need to discuss. And when you're going to it, you need to really understand, even though things change, as we age and we stay together, things change. But it should be somebody individual decision. You cannot be forced because you are married that you have to join my religion. So
brilliant. Pastor of your back, we are just talking about religion within the cross-cultural marriage. Jackie did share her experience about Muslim experience. So we are saying if you marry someone from a different culture, different religion, how will that affect your marriage? Odile has given us her view about you cannot just suddenly wake up in the morning and say, hey, come and join my religion, if it was not discussed in the past. But obviously, Jackie did not have the opportunity to have that conversation, and that played a role also in her marriage. What do you think about religion? Where does that fit in cross-cultural marriage? Should it be something that should be considered at the beginning?
Sure, mommy. It is one thing and a factor to be considered when you are going into marriage, because at the end of the day, as Sister Odile was saying, it's going to bring confusion. It's going to bring confusion because some people in the beginning, they will not be open up to you that, oh, I will change when we married, and this kind of stuff that they are going to tell you. But when it gets to further, these people will come and there will be so much complaints. So I think when going into either relationship or marriage, religion play a major part in such decision taking. One's belief might be different from your belief. If the person is going to change, why don't the person change before you guys enter into the marriage? You have to see that kind of change, that is a person willing to follow you, even if you are both Christians. You have to know, because Christians, we have even so many types, that some might be SDA and this so many beliefs. So I think it should be considered. It should be considered, because when you enter into the religion, one religion might say, oh, we don't eat this kind of meat, we don't drink this kind of drinks, we don't take in this, we don't wear this kind of stuff. So it will bring confusion. So I would definitely agree with Sister Odile that such factor must be taken before one gets into marriage.
Okay, Richard had just, let me read a comment from Richard. Richard is saying, could it be said that cross-cultural arrange are possibly even stronger than most? I know a Muslim and a Catholic couple, they are strong after 20 years plus. The key, flexibility, respect, and choice. And then Richard also said, addressing it to Odile, I think, Odile has hit on the head. Discussion on an awareness before steering commitment in a relationship is absolute key. Then my son Arthur says, To join a religion on the basis of marriage is a very big mistake. So should not join a religion on the basis of a marriage. When there's a divorce, you are still going to continue with that. Are you still going to continue with that religion if you join it because of the marriage? Before one joins a religion body, the person must accept the doctrines and beliefs of that religion. If not, do not enter. So it's a mistake. So it's clearly saying that if the marriage does end, will you carry on following that doctrine if you enter the doctrine just because of marriage? Now, I'm going to ask the next question is, cross-cultural marriages, have we considered children? How is the raising of the children, how easy or how difficult it is? Because some culture, when they're raising children, they believe in being very soft, very nice, very loving, very caring, limited. Some cultures are very disciplined, all that. So when you're marrying, should it be taken into consideration, the raising of the children? Jackie, what do you think? Should the one take into
Right,
consideration?
right. Obviously, yeah, I talked to my ex briefly. Not, we don't really have a conversation, but my daughter, I've just let her grow up to be what she wants to be. Basically because he hasn't been around. We haven't lived together since she was the age of 3. She's now 17. Um, but yeah, she like listens to her dad. She sees her dad. She's got good bond with her dad. She goes to Algeria with her dad. I would never stop that. But she doesn't eat meat. She don't eat meat. She's a vegetarian anyway, so she's really fussy. But yeah, she's looking at the Quran. And yeah, I haven't got an issue over it. Just free will. As long as she's happy with what she wants to do, then that's fine. And
Brilliant.
I think mixed cultures can work, but obviously as long as they know each other properly. And I mean, there has been cases like someone just said, Catholics and Muslims being together, being married, and as long as there's compassion and understanding amongst them, then that's the main thing. But I didn't have any communication, so that's what happened with my one. Yeah. So
I love what Jackie said. Jackie said because sometimes women, even men, tend to use children, especially in multicultural relationship when they're no longer together, to destroy each other, or to destroy one another, or to destroy the culture, or to make another culture look bad and whatever. But Jackie has just given us a very good view of her case, what happened, and then considering that the dad wasn't around, but she still allowed the daughter to still embrace the culture, to still talk to the dad, to still travel to the dad. Some people will be thinking, oh no, I don't know the country, I don't know the people, I don't know, there's no way you can go. What do you think about that, Odile? What do you think about education?
I think even I'm just gonna put it this way. Let's face it, as individual, we are all different, whether we are in the same culture or not, when it comes to raising children. Because you can be from the same culture, but very different approach of how you're going to educate your children. So coming back to the culture, I think is also to do with the way as a couple you communicate what you want. I mean, if I would like my children to know my food, to know a little bit about my background, I will make sure I do that with my children when they are young. So it's all about the couple, people who are together, you know how you work it out. So if one is because what we have observed from time to time is that one person, especially men, tend to do that. They think education is a woman job, where they don't have so much input on their children. Then in that case, the woman can only tell the child what she knows about her own culture. So I think it's all about the couple, the two people. If we speak different language, do I want my child to know a little bit about my language, and what do I do about it? So it's all about people who are together, and how I don't think there will be a standard way of educating children when it comes to cross cultural marriage. It's all about the way you guys are together. What is it you want your child to know about your own culture and the other one, and vice versa. So that's my belief.
That's very good. I love what Odile said there, because everyone has their approach, even from the same culture. You're still going to have different approach of raising children. Pastor Enoch, what do you think? Children, cross-cultural, education, belief system, you name it. What do you think?
Yeah, mommy, I would say that when it comes to raising children in an educational manner or way, I think the decision is up to the couples to decide the way that they want to go about it. Because at the end of the day, you leave the children to the teachers, they go to schools, they make friends, they learn a lot of things from them. So in educational wise, I don't think there will be much problem when it comes to that aspect, even to the extent of the kind of language they should speak, because you have your own language, and maybe the woman might also have her own language. But when they go to school, they teach them other different languages also, which the children cooperate. So I don't think when it comes to educational system, there should be a problem in that aspect. The aspect that when it comes to this kind of stuff is the religious aspect. Because when it comes to the religious aspect, when you bring your belief and maybe the woman or the man is not used to your belief system, I think there might be problem also there, because the children might not know which kind of belief system they should follow. You are teaching them this, and the woman is telling them this, and many a times even the women have advantage, because always the kids are with them, and even the man might not be there, and before you realize, the woman is controlling their mind. So I think the most problem, where the problem is the religious aspect.
Okay, I'm going to read what Richard said. I have a great question for the three of you. Richard says, people surely, if you can't stand the heart of a cross-cultural relationship, do not enter. People would find it. What is it? I think I would find it challenging. Cecile and Odile, would you marry a European or South American man? That is Richard asking the question. Richard, then he carries on to say, isn't it possible that cross-cultural couple are more protective and more enlightening about different culture? It might affect badly on one culture, or if family rejects or obstacle from the family. So meaning that if a family rejects one couple or one person, then it's very difficult. Richard, he said, let me listen and look at my lovely Cameroonian old friend. Richard is asking Odile, I'm not going to say by myself. Richard is asking Odile, would you marry a European South American man? That's your question, Odile. I don't know if you want to answer that or not.
Well, I don't have a problem marrying anyone from any background or any culture, as long as I get on with the person. So I've been in a relationship with different culture. And there was not such, the problem we had were not really based on the differences of culture as such. It was more about understanding about what we wanted to achieve. So you will see at some point when you meet someone, whether they are white, black, or yellow, whatever it is about how you communicate and what is it. Because I tend to, before I never knew about Mexican music or whatever, but having a partner who was from those background, I started liking those music. So it is, for me, is not, is about the person, is about who is in front of me. Because I've met people from my where I come from who are I will never, where I rather die alone than be with those people. So it's about who is in front of me. It's about what do I gain from you and what can I give you. So if we have something to offer to one another, it doesn't matter where you're from or what. For me, that's my belief.
I
Yeah,
love a deal with your
brilliant.
straight talk. Straight talk, isn't it? I
Yeah,
have a question. Yes,
sorry,
Jackie, go
I
ahead.
was just going to say, I think
Mm.
communication is the most important thing with any relationship. If you've got that, then that's brilliant.
Excellent. Excellent, Jackie. Excellent deal. Now, a question to all of you. Maybe that might be the last question or not. We never know. The question is, I watched the film. I'm talking about prejudice and social attitudes. I watched, I think it was a film. Either but it was a true reality. I'm not too sure if it was a film or it was just a scenario that they were showing on TV, but that was real. It was a husband and a wife. The husband was black and the wife was white. They had traveled to either Italy or Germany. I think they traveled to one of these two countries. So while they were coming back to returning back, and the people at the airport automatically assumed that the husband was a driver to that woman or a slave or some kind of carrier back. So then what they did is the wife was carrying the bag, the husband was carrying the bag. So the air hostess came to the husband and said, "Oh, wouldn't you carry your madam two bags?" So the man turned and looked, and the wife was so embarrassed. The wife turned and looked. But then what they did, which was very worse, it was a reality at the airport. They were showing the airport thing. It wasn't a film. It was a reality at the airport. So what they did when they got to the luggage thing, the hand luggage, waiting of the hand luggage, the husband and the wife, they both had identical hand luggage. Then what they did, they took they allowed the wife go. Number one, they first came and asked the husband to go and queue in a different queue that was long, to leave the wife there because they were already there. They assumed that this man should not be standing there, should go and queue at a different queue. So obviously he showed his boarding pass that he is meant to be there. He was already there. So they tolerated that one. When they got to the hand luggage thing, they took the hand luggage, the same weight, same kilo, same size, same color. This woman, they took her hand luggage, passed it through. The man's hand luggage, at the minute he brought his one, and it was after the wife, they started by saying, "Your hand luggage is big. It needs to be reduced. It's weighted. Things need to be removed." So the wife didn't know what to do. The wife was just standing there, so shocked and so disbelief, and it was so difficult. She became red because she was thinking, what kind of cruelty is this one? She didn't know either to defend the husband or to speak, and the husband also was so disbelief that he didn't know. It's like both of them didn't know how to handle the situation. So they actually torture the husband, and torture the husband, asked him to open his hand luggage, remove stuff out of there. He started removing stuff. Still, they still said it was heavy, and and the man was just sweating, and the wife was just there, and it was really embarrassed to that woman and really embarrassing to the wife. And both of them were disbelieved, but they didn't say anything to all this process. And now, prejudice, society, how will you handle that situation where you are passing with your husband, you're very happy, but the minute you're passing on the road, people are staring, people are looking. It could even be perhaps in your own family, whichever family you're from, could be your own family. What would you do for that prejudice? Supposedly you have traveled with your wife or your husband to your family, and they start treating him or her exactly like the stranger that he is to that family. What do you think about that?
That's awful.
Anyone?
It must be so degrading for both of them. That's absolutely awful.
It was. So what do you think about prejudice? Jackie, did you experience any of that?
Well, I personally, I've never been to Algeria. Yeah, so I don't know. I think there was, and to actually go out there, for me to get a visa would be like nearly £600, which is so expensive. So yeah, no, I've never actually been there. So I think, yeah, I don't think I want to go now anyway. At the time I did, and it was just like obviously them talking, and I should have really learned, but it was really hard. It's a really difficult language to learn. Yeah, so and getting the time as well, because I was working more or less full time. Yeah.
Brilliant. Now, Odile and Pastor Enoch, you just heard what Jackie said. Expenses to travel abroad, if you like to, with your partner. And I believe it's very traumatizing also, because it might look on the onset as if it's easier, but it is traumatizing to know that people are speaking this language that you cannot possibly hear, you cannot possibly understand. I remember at one point I had a big problem going to church, and then just people just popping with their language next to me. I'd really turned to become someone that I wasn't. I was at one point, I turned to become hostile when somebody was speaking a language that I cannot understand next to me, because of the assumption that when they're speaking about me, and the assumption that when people are coming, they're speaking and they're looking at you. So at one point, it turns you to become somebody who you are not. You can easily become paranoid if care is not taken, and you can easily start rejecting people because you feel like, why suddenly there's no need for you to do that. So it's morally, spiritually, emotionally, it's a lot to take on, and that alone can cause friction in a marriage. So now, what do you think about that? Such prejudice with society. How will you handle that? What do you think it is?
I think some society are more tolerant than the other. And we see it everywhere, even in our workplace or everywhere. So it's you'll see, like, I'm taking an example in Africa. When white people go to Africa, they are actually very well respected compared to, I have seen scenario where we are all traveling on the same plane. Like, I just came back home, and then you see we are on the queue. For some reason, they will come and say, "Oh, they were white people on the plane with us," and because there is quite is the control of COVID is very strict. No one is allowed in the country without being swabbed. So we are all in this big room. and then some people will be called first when we all have like ticket, and then you hear we hear a lot of people shouting,
In the medicine.
saying that no, you can't do that. We are on the queue. We won't be, we won't take that. It's not because somebody is white that you think they have a privilege to go first, because it doesn't work like that. So what I'm trying to say is that some culture are really, they don't mind, they don't, in fact they will respect you if somebody clearly different from you. They will even tend to give you more respect than their own people. Or like some culture where they as they feel with that person, they feel like you're nothing. They will try to make you feel like you're nothing. But then all those things are part of that mixed relationship you are, and there are things that you know that when you get into that, you will be dealing with those issues because they will never cease. Prejudice is everywhere. They even the way we talk, they will be like pointing that, oh, because you're this, that's why you talk like that. Or but I think those are the things you're going to have to learn, that I'm in this situation, I will have to learn that it's acceptable to be treated differently because I'm here. So you just have to deal with them. But I think it's all to do with the person you are with. As long as your partner is a supportive person, understanding, and make you feel inclusive, I think you will be fine. But if you have that kind of a person who is not there to defend you, who will expose you to all sort of things, then this is where things start going sour.
Brilliant. Pastor, what do you think
Yeah,
about prejudice?
Yeah.
mommy, I would say that whatever it is, as human beings, we will have problems. So in life, it shouldn't be others first. The other time we were saying, if you don't love yourself, you can't love others also. So it should be what makes you happy. What can build you, what brings peace in you. If I marry somebody from my own country and I will not have peace and I will die early, why should I go to my grave and leave the person behind? So at the end of the day, you must not like look at the interest of others first. What others will say, what are they going to do? Everybody is going to be okay, because when you are not there, they won't even remember you. So you have to look at the character of the partner. Is the partner supportive? At the end, love must be the basic of entering into marriage, not color, not education, not even money. It should be what makes you as a person, what makes you happy, what can keep you going, what lets you grow. So, mommy, though we have so many things that many people are going to say when it comes to this situation, but we shouldn't focus on the negative aspect of what we'll be going through. If the partner loves you and you love the partner, I think, mommy, you're good to go.
Brilliant. A question for Jackie. Richard is asking Jackie. Jackie, can you ask Jackie, is it true that love has no color? Richard wants Jackie to answer that question. Jackie, is it true that love has no color?
I think if you love someone for who they are, regardless what colour, what nationality they are, what culture they are, even gender, basically. If you're in love, you're in love. So, you know, so I think mixed cultures and everything is good as long as there's communication and love out there. You know, does it really matter?
Brilliant,
You know,
Richard. Richard, you got your answer. Jackie said, love has no color. There's no religion, there's no culture, there's no color, there's nothing. If you love somebody, you love somebody. Richard, I know you're married. Don't tell me that you're beginning to love Jackie. You are definitely married. You are definitely married. And don't believe if eyes and mouth can speak, I'm here. I have control. Jackie has said love has no color. We're going to read the last comment then before we close. My son is saying he agrees with Mom Odile, the interest of the kids first. Therefore, we shouldn't steal their right of choosing what is best for themselves. Even when it comes to religion, we should create an atmosphere for kids to decide on which way to go. Imposing on the kids is a moral robbery. If we have an intention of luring the kids to Assad, that's what is bad. That one is bad. If they want, they can follow mom to church. It's okay. If they want to follow dad, it's okay. So basically, it's saying that the children can follow mom, they can follow dad. So the parents should not be fighting on, I'm taking the children to my church, or I'm taking the children to this place, or I'm taking the children to my family, or it should really be their choice to want to go and want to know each of the family. Brilliant. Now we are drawing to a very end. It's been so good, this multicultural topic.
Yeah.
It's been very good. It's been very enlightening to know that you have to consider religion, you have to consider language, you have to consider in-law. You have to really check if the person is going to be nice today, and then suddenly when they settle in, they just switch and change. They become somebody that you don't know. So there are so many things. And again, like Jackie said, like Odile said, if you love the person, you love the person. Like Pastor Enoch says, no family should hold you captive for your love, to want you to walk in their way because you are going out, or you're marrying somebody else. Wow, I love that. Now we are going to close. Final thought, Pastor Enoch. What is your final advice? Maybe somebody is married, the cross-cultural marriage, and they're really going through issues, they're going through difficulty, they don't know either to cope or not to cope, either to stay or not to stay, because maybe the one side is just giving them a hell of a life, and the husband is not supportive, because Odile was saying earlier on that if you have a supportive husband or partner, then all is fine. Maybe they don't have a supportive partner. Pastor Enoch, what advice will you give people who are planning to invest in such a relationship?
Yeah, mommy, I would say that the first thing is to build understanding between you and your partner. Where there is understanding, you try to build a hedge, a fence around your relationship, around your marriage. You know, those people that you are thinking of, many a times when you go into the troubles after the divorce and everything, you will not hear from them anymore. So why don't you build the understanding that will help you, your partner, and your kids? And the rest of the things, just leave it to them. Let them worry about what they want to worry about. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be considered, but when you are forced your way and it seems like they are not giving in or giving up for you to marry the person that you want, I think just build understanding between you and your partner and get to know each other well. Let the love be strong, and the rest is okay to go.
Excellent, Pastor Enoch. Good advice. Jackie, what advice will you give somebody who is perhaps in the situation, or perhaps even considering marrying someone from a different culture? What tip or advice will you give them tonight?
The advantage, I would say, would be just learning different ways of cooking, maybe cooking, maybe picking up little words of the language, and just like educating yourself more on the other person's culture. Really can be quite inspiring.
Excellent. So you heard Jackie. Jackie said trying to pick on some words, some cooking tips, different things that can help the situation and ease the situation. Brilliant advice for someone who has been in and can tell you from experience. Odile, what do you think? You said love is all that matters. And then you also said that don't talk to me about religion at the beginning. Then suddenly you're trying to wake up in the morning and say, oh, by the way, I'm talking to you about religion now. It will not work. What advice will you give to somebody who's planning or is already there but really struggling?
Well, I think it's communication. Communication is so important in any given relationship. So we know that when there is breakdown in communication, things get worse. So someone who is planning, either they have a partner, they're thinking, is all about talking about it, like talking about different subject, talking about your partner before you go ahead. So, and preparing yourself that it is going to be challenging, because knowing that even if you were in the same culture with that person, there will always be problems and challenges, but it will be even harder when it comes to cross marriages, because when the two of you are together, it will be really good. It may not even be really good, but it will be okay. But when the family and other part comes in, so I think you need to prepare yourself to know that, you know what, I'm going into this because I love this person and I want to spend the rest of my life with them. Open your mind, talk about, don't assume, and don't think that, oh, if they're doing this is because of this. You need to make sure you are open to the partner. If you're worried about things, discuss with them, open your heart to them. When you're not happy, tell them that, oh, this is not, I'm not happy with this. And just communication, I think, is a key.
Excellent, brilliant communication. Richard is saying, I'm just going to read the last comment from Richard, then we are off for today. Richard is saying, what is Richard saying? Richard said, I firmly believe that if Cecile and Odile are committed to a man, it's going to be great. Oops, Richard. Richard is also saying, let the full flavor of love come out if entering the cross-cultural kitchen of romance. Oh wow. Richard is also saying that you don't need me there. Richard, we need you there. Oh, we actually need you here. That's why I keep reading your comments, because I want to know what you think, because your contribution is really important and valuable to us as one of the co-hosts. We like to know more about you, and we are also grateful that you've been able to share and to give us the boost to that, and to even give us more comment and more things to discuss. Until then, it's been great tonight, great experience from all the experienced people. We have a Pastor Eno, who has given us a very good insight about relationship and what to watch out for, what to talk about. We have Odile, a very specialist nurse, who has given us her insights on cross-cultural relationship. We have Jackie, a counselor, a psychologist, and again, a great woman who has given us, with a life experience, how it is like to be able to cross and enter that kind of life. So it's been really rich and really awesome and really marvelous and excellent. It's been very good. I've learned so much, and I've learned so much. So, and I believe you have learned a lot as well. If you're planning to cross-culture marriage, I believe you've been given advice and tips on what to do and what not to do, what conversation to have at the beginning and what conversation to have in the middle, and how to prepare your mind that it's not going to be a walk in the path. And again, no marriage is a walk in the path, but when it's two cultures combined together, then it's also another thing. Until then, let's chit chat. We are happy to have you all, our great host, co-host tonight, I love you all. Grateful to have you on board. It's been excellent. So if you'd like to say goodbye to our dear viewers.
Yeah, goodbye. Thank you.
Let's Chit Chat UK live stream. Hey, I'm Pastor Cecile Abba, a counselor by profession from Let's Chit Chat UK. This is the